Just chilling with my niggas, we just tryna get through life, and it's 2025 right now. Man, I'm 24, turning 25. I'm just tryna wipe a hoe, fish ain't biting right now. Bitch, I'm a masturbator, I'm with that fish and shit. Need a muhamula, cause a baby got no money, bitch. I'ma need a OZ, ASAP, no Sylvester shit. Smoking on.
What's up, guys? Brendon back, or B, with Bro, and today we're sitting with Zay Michael, one of my newest homies and one of the newest SG members, and also a fellow content creator. But today we're not going to deep dive into his content. We'll talk about it a little bit. We're going to dive into who he is and get a little bit of his backstory today. So to begin, I'm just going to let him introduce himself, get everybody to know who he is if you don't know who he is, and yeah.
And I'm not going to do my usual intro for you guys, but again, my name is Zay Michael, real name Xavian for people that don't know. 26, straight out of Dallas, born and raised, married man. First and foremost, shout out to the missus, shout out to Antoine, the little man. But yeah, straight chilling, straight vibing. Yeah, ready to go.
A future father is what he is.
Yeah.
On the way. That's exciting. So like to start out the podcast, I want to like dive right into it, and I want to ask, who is Zay?
Zay is a hard worker, first and foremost. I tell everyone that. I am a leader, but I more so lead by example more than anything. After a while, I hate talking, more so a guy of action, man of action. And a year ago, if you would ask me if I was a man of God, I would have gave you maybe. But especially this year is a definite yes. God has spoken to me in ways that he has never spoken to me before. So,
What's up?
Yeah.
So we're going to deep dive into your story today and like just like your life, but I want like just to touch a like basis on it before we deep dive into it. What's like one part of your story you feel like most people miss out on or they don't really capture whenever you tell them?
That my perspective, not just being a man, but being a Black man is very, very different. Insanely different. I'm blessed to have grown up one way and then God pivot that in a very different way. So when people come to me and ask me questions, they're asking not for just my advice, but for my perspective on the outlook that I have.
That's actually like, that's cool because that kind of branches into like one of the first things I wanted to dive into, which is your growing up, right? Because I don't know, for people that don't know, I don't know Zay like that. I don't know much of his story. I know like little bits and pieces here and there, but we're going to like connect the dots today. Is what shaped you growing up? Like, was it family member, music, this, that, a hobby? What was it?
One thing that shaped me early on was my love for music. I used to love to dance. I still love to dance nowadays, but it's definitely not as much as it used to be.
I've heard stories.
Yeah, like for people that don't know, I used to crump. Like, I was really, really into the Dallas crump scene and the crump scene in general. But the more I got older, the more I realized that that wasn't really necessarily my passion. But if you would have asked me 5 years old, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be like Michael Jackson. Like, Michael Jackson was the guy. That dude
just so like sense now.
Why do you say that?
There's just things you do where it's like, oh, that's just funny. It's like because you can see that in your personality, like his swagger he had. You can see some of the MJ swagger and some of the stuff you do, and I'm like, that's funny.
Like, especially now more than ever, I analyze my name a lot. My name means Xavian, one who is very smart but lazy. And then you got Michael right in the middle. And then you got Johnson. Well, if you don't know what Johnson means, it means big dick. We just gonna get that out of the way. That's literally what it means. Like, it's a whole thing. But I'm more so focused on the first two parts of my name. And I put those together to make Zay Michael. And for the longest time, I wanted to be this Michael Jackson mixed with Kobe, mixed with Childish Gambino in the one, and then keeping that persona up just wasn't working. So I went back to the drawing board, and Zay Michael was just right there. But back to the childhood, just Michael Jackson, dance, music, and the more I realized, kind of my traumas come from a lot of my childhood, not having my dad early on. I didn't know my dad till I was 12. So that was a big, big thing up until 12 years old. Moving around a lot. Like it's a lot better now, but my therapist tells me, she's like, the reason why you want control now so much as an old grown man is as a kid, you didn't have it. So I didn't have, I'm not going to say so much a stable lifestyle, but the home life wasn't as stable as I would have loved it to be.
We're actually just about, it's like you're reading my mind. I was just about to ask you, what was home life for you as a kid?
It was fun but chaotic. Like I tell people all the time, I forced myself to have a childhood. Like I kind of did. Like not knowing my dad, it rose a lot of problems later on that I didn't know that I had until I went to therapy. But the first 11 to 10 years of my life, I love my mom, and I tried not to hold the past against her, but I had to be honest with her one day. She was with one guy, thought he was my dad, and then around the second grade is when she gave me the news, like, hey, this isn't your dad. And she gave me another guy's name that might have been my dad. So I went on, I'm like, okay. Very early on as a kid, I always wanted the truth. Like, no matter what, I wanted to know information. So I asked her, I was like, okay, well, where is he? And then she would say, oh, I don't know. And then 6 months to a year would go by. Hey, have you found my dad? Oh, I haven't found him yet. Okay, and another 6 months to a year go by.
On the street type situation.
Well, the guy that she told me, I still don't know who he is. That was just who she was with at the time. But at 10 years old, that had kind of been buried back. I kind of just given up on it. Then she got with her second husband, and God works crazy, man. That guy was my dad's best friend. And then the first time I saw my dad was at the fair. And I didn't know that was my dad. I thought he was like my older brother because me and him looked the same. He was really, really young back then. I think he was like early 30s, maybe late 20s. And so
you'd be now.
Exactly. But he was already married, had 2 kids, but I'm technically the firstborn. So at around 11 or 12, that's when news broke out. Oh, hey, that's your actual dad. So
you know him now?
Yeah, me and my dad are close. I'm really like his mini-me, just more so.
How Waylon is with me.
I'm more the nerd version of. Like, my dad is strict Dallas, Oak Cliff. Like, you can definitely tell where he's from. And if you go to different areas of the city and you ask for his name, people will tell you who he is. Yeah.
So what is something like younger you would be proud of today then?
That, first off, he knows his dad. That is the first one. Secondly, he has a beautiful wife. I love my wife. Shout out to the missus. And I'm still upholding my dreams. I'm still going for it every day. And I've made a lot of progress within the last 2 years, especially this year. This year has been crazy growth, but
yeah, I remember the beginning of the year, it was like, so this time last year, I had the worst experience of my life. Like me and my mom, it was like we had just started talking again, and she had done this whole like, I don't know you. I never got a chance to know you. Like, I just don't know if I, care. And I was like, oh, I get that about me. But as my 16-year-old sister, you still got a chance. So it was like a lot of anger. And it was like, I got into it with some family members and I was like, oh, this next year is nothing but like wisdom and God. Like, I'm not worried about anything else. And I mean, don't get me wrong. It was a rough start, dude. It was like crank pulling it. That's why I was like, I said today what I did about Miguel. Cause it's like, when I say no one else could live with me and put up with the shit that man put up with, like, I've been on this whole like healing journey for like 2-3 years now. And it was like the most progress has been this year. It's crazy.
It was a lot of growing pains though, huh?
Yep. Fool, I had a whole new leg come out of me, it feels like.
That's how it is, man.
But so that makes me want to jump into friendship and stuff because, like, this last year, I mean, I wouldn't have been able to survive it without some of our mutual friends and shit like that. Because we, like, when I say we just, we still fresh. It's like, what makes someone a brother to you?
It's the level of honesty. Like, one thing I've learned over the last 3 to 5 years was how to speak up and recognize that I'm not the biggest guy in the room. I'm not a gangster, but that does not mean you're not going to respect me. No, not even that. Like, just...
Mine's don't look at me like a bitch.
But see, I used to think that way, but now it's more so, I don't care if you do, just know my work speaks for itself that you're not going to do that.
Well, see, that's the cool thing is because, like, that's kind of how we met each other is just like what you heard about each other.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, hey, he does this and he does this and he does this really well and he does that really well. And it's like, I don't know. It's cool. It's cool because like a year ago, I was sitting there and I was like, I want to hear my name talked about in a way I've never heard. Like I was praying. I was like, not for like fame or glory, but for just the pure fact of like,
Sorry, guys. Pre-fin meeting.
And back. And what were we talking about?
Just over like the last year.
Oh yeah, so the echo over a name. Like I didn't want the fame or glory when I was praying about it, right? Like because my whole life it's always been like, oh, he's gonna be like his mom, or he's gonna be like this or that, and it's like I wanted to set the record straight, and I realized like if I kept being that same 16-year-old kid like I was, that would be like I'm not my mom, and then I wouldn't be honest. Like that's all I really wanted was just to be honest. And it's like, but I would struggle with like quitting weed. I would lie about it. Or if I was struggling with reading my Bible or just even just depression, like I would lie about it. I would fake it. And it's like, oh, you got to the point where it was like, I was so honest that people almost thought it was a bit.
Like people don't believe it.
It's so strange. It'll be like, there's no way he's that honest about things. And it's like, or they think I'm just like an asshole. And don't get me wrong, I'm monotone, so I come off as an ass. Like I come off rude sometimes. But I've learned because I can't change it. I've tried. I have to disclaimer myself. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna sound upset, but I pinky promise that I'm not. And like we can totally get coffee after this and pray, but like I don't know how to handle these, so I'm always monotone. And that was like it was one of the I don't know, that was like one of the shifts where it's like whenever I heard like just between the two of us where it's like I heard that about you. Oh, I heard that about you. Where the fuck did you hear that from? Like
That cut from the same cloth.
I know. It was cool. It was really cool to see. Oh, hold on, I gotta fucking oh, this one kind of directed. Who's had your back most when it mattered?
Outside of my wife, definitely.
Well, this is brotherhood and friendship. So
Okay,
she don't count.
Sorry, baby, but you don't count.
Sorry, ma'am, you don't.
The first 3 people. Well, there's 4 people.
That and send it to her.
Please do. There's Mac, one of my close friends named Troy. Been knowing him since he was 7th grade. Tokyo, shout out to my boy Toke. And my brother, my actual like blood brother, Jay. Those 4 guys are considered the closest 4 people in my life, for sure.
So they've had your back.
Oh, also honor mention, shout out to my cousin Chris, him too.
So I've heard a lot about like past groups, past mess ups.
Woo! I knew this was coming up.
And stuff like that, right? So it's like I wanted to know when was the epiphany that hit you where it was like, I need a new group. I need a new group of friends. Like the whole Proverbs 13:20 effect happened with even if you didn't know the scripture, you know, like you realized you were walking with fools and you kept getting hurt.
Well, there's Man, I knew I was gonna have to talk about this one day. The way I was gonna do it first wasn't a good business idea, but so for those that don't know, I was part of a little group named Six Gaming Entertainment, 6G. And there was a guy that I was co-leading it with, Ethereal. I'm gonna name drop him because at this point, fuck it. And me and him were trying to lead things in a way that it was not so much structured, but more so just what's the word I'm looking for? It was kind of like popularity based. Like I would be the face while him and Mac would kind of be in the background, but more so Mac. Mac would still do things in the background. I was doing things on the front end. That didn't work because one thing I started realizing was that I'm doing work, Mac is doing work, but what about this guy? Like he wasn't doing much of anything. And so it kind of set the tone for other people to kind of get like that as well. And then another thing that kind of broke it down was there's about 3 situations. The first one was, I heard he was talking shit about my wife behind my back.
Oh, that's killable. Terrible.
The second thing was that I got some of his family members on. I'm not going to mention their names because this technically ain't got nothing to do with them, but it's part of the story. And they almost got me fired from my job. And I was the assistant general manager at that time.
Oh.
So when I made the decision to let the higher ups know, like, hey, this is kind of going on. I don't want them to get in trouble, but I got to let y'all know to save my job. They didn't understand that. So they got mad at me and said that I was quote unquote snitching. But I mean, look, I'm cool with your brother. I'm not so much cool with y'all. I'm just helping y'all. And I was letting them do shit like, bro, I was letting them get away with a lot of shit. Let's just say that. And so when it was time for me to step up and defend my job, now it's an issue. So that happened. And then,
I mean, damn.
Oh, that's not the worst part.
I know, but it just sounds insane.
Yeah. But now we're about to get to the money. So me and him shared Xbox and PlayStation accounts. We would put our money together. So we would say, hey, there's a new game coming out. Let's get this Legendary Edition 4. It's $100. Okay, cool. I put up 50. You put up 50. Or I would say, hey, I'm getting this game. Don't worry about it. Give me on this one. I buy the game. He buys the next one. Problem was, everything was on his account. So when we talked about this earlier, when I sent my group chat the text say, hey, I understand people might not like me. I'm going to take a step back and take some time away from the group. I'm not leaving, but I need a break from y'all. I left my group chat. The very next day, I get kicked out of the Discord, other group chats, other emails that I made, and I no longer have access to all those games that I put money in. And we're talking thousands and thousands from 2016 until this year. Yeah. From Xbox to PlayStation, I no longer have access to those games. And before I cut him off, I bought a mini PC from him. That was my very first PC that I bought. So I was upset, but I wasn't mad. I said, okay, I'm going to show you, but I can tell you. So I started working out Spike. Like I'm dropping 3-4 clips a day, back to back to back to back to back. I'm working my ass off. But it's a double-edged sword, and God showed me that it's crazy how that happened, bro. A week or two, not even a week or two after, I would say maybe a month later of me doing that, and I'm talking shit. I'm talking shit like in my head, like, yeah, I'm showing them, I'm doing all this. I'm building up this bad individual. Very, very, very vengeful. And God knew that. So what he did, he flooded my apartment.
You know what's funny? So, vengeance is to be given to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you let him handle it. And I know he wouldn't flood the world, but he flooded you.
Man, did he, bro. Like,
you lost your computer?
It was this close. Like, if this was where the water came from, it stopped right where the dresser is. That's how far it was.
You got lucky.
Dog, had to move on to a whole new apartment. But it was a blessing in disguise. Because without that situation, it made me realize, okay, I can't do things like that. And then I end up getting burnt out. Then my cousin ended up passing away like a little bit of time after. So that also fucking happened. So I had to do a whole reset. Man. It's just.
So is the moment that like changed your direction in that story, or is there like a moment in your life that really like kept you from going down a bad path?
That's one of them. The other one was, you heard a little bit of it earlier, but my ex-fiancée, yeah, man, she
got one of them too.
She did a lot. I'll drop it on this podcast. I've never said this publicly, so this is a B exclusive. Exclusive, and it's a good one. So I met her. I met my wife, my current wife, and my ex-fiancée. Funny thing enough, I tried to get my wife first. She turned me down.
Good.
And I said that. So the same night that she said no, there's plenty of fine women in the world.
I agree. I agree, but now it makes sense.
So I was with her about 6 months, and yeah, we moved things way too fast. I felt trapped. I felt like I had nowhere to go. She not only was emotionally and verbally abusive, she was physically abusive.
Damn, do we have the same whiteboard?
Nah, she was mixed.
Oh,
Black, white, Hispanic.
You survived?
It's because, bro, when I get fed up, it's like a switch in my brain that just turns off. Like, I don't care. Like, you can say whatever. I gave you all these chances. Why are you still asking me? And then I have all the proof, and you know it. So why are we acting like this is brand new? This is a buildup. So she ended up cheating on me around 4/20 during spring break. I think it was the time. That's when spring break fell. And she called me. It was like, hey, I know you told me not to go to such and such house. I was severely against it, but she didn't listen. I woke up and my vagina hurts. I said, okay, well, do I need to call the police, get a kit? Like, what are we doing? Like, I'm concerned. And somehow, some way, I was so pussy whipped, she just calms me down and was able to get me back to base level. So I'm like, okay, well, if anything else happens, let me know. She comes back to the college because she had left that point. She came back, we went to a party, do while we're drunk. I wake up the next morning, I'm pissing fire.
I've been there.
Like I got Ghost Rider dick, flamethrower status. Like
I know,
bro.
I know how it feels, dude.
Man, I was pissed. That's when I called Matt. I was like, bro, you don't believe what the fuck just happened. So I don't tell her right away. I'm keeping it to myself. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make a plan. So I get home, I cry to my parents. Because one thing I don't do is cry in front of my stepmom. She's never really just seen me cry. But that was the first time she opened the door. I just broke down and hugged her. And she was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I'm not a crier like that. Like, all that crying and shit,
See, that's funny because that's how my dad knew something was wrong with me when I wanted to get sober because no one knew I was. I mean, granted, I'm pretty sure they suspected, but I stayed away from my family when I was on drugs. And it was normal because I was freshly home from the army.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, you know, either I was out looking for a job or I was doing this or I was doing that or I was doing some kind of like handyman work for someone. And I was like, really, I was just going to get high. It was like when it finally clicked and they opened that door and I was like, Dad. It's like the one time we've had like a father-son embrace and like just tears started rolling down my face. I was like, not even 2 weeks later, it was a completely different mood. But it was like,
but you needed to get that out.
It was great. It's that little boy like family safe emotion. It's like,
man,
sometimes you just gotta fucking do that. Like it's like you can't hug your like even a stepmom. Like I'm close with like some of my step parents, and it's like, dog. Sometimes you just need them around.
Yeah, and If I went to
especially in college,
thing, but
well, yeah, I mean, like parents in general, but it's like especially in college, and that happens, and it's like you're full of like, I mean, you're still like growing up, your brain's still developing. All of a sudden, you just have a grown up situation.
oh my God, my brain. I got 2 more stories for you. Anyways, yeah, just damn, man. My stepmom and dad helped me set up the doctor's appointment. I call her and let her know that, and I said, hey, I think I have either chlamydia or gonorrhea. I've already looked up the symptoms. And she was like, well, I don't have it. So if you have it and gave it to me, that means you did something with somebody else. I said her name and said, hey, look, I need you to understand me when I say this. If I go to the doctor's office and they tell me I have something, we are done. And I hung up the phone. 10 a.m. the next morning, got my results, called her up and said, hey, I have gonorrhea. We are through. No. We're due.
At that point, you're already mentally checked out.
Man, I hung up. She called me, blowing me up. And I'm like, hey, I'm talking to a doctor. Can you stop calling me? And then she sends me a Snapchat of her trying to, what's the one I'm looking for? Take her battery life in the bathtub. And I call her mom and I said, hey, look, this is what's going on. Go check up on her. I don't want anything to do with her anymore. This is the last time we're probably going to talk. Thank you for everything that you've done and your husband have done to welcome me and your family, but me and your daughter are not going to work. She apologized. She started crying. She sent me the money for the doctor's office as reimbursement.
That's nice.
Bro, this is the last 3 relationships, serious relationships that I had, it was learning, but it was also because I wasn't necessarily the problem. I still allowed way too much. Like that was my
boundary. I had a boundary problem with
man
for the longest, because it's like, and then I finally got the one I thought, and it was like the one like dog. It was crazy. It was like I didn't idolize her like the ones before, where it's like before I didn't have God, but it's like whenever I had my first godly relationship, and then it was like old tendencies and shit slipped back in, and it was like, oh, I'm being tested. And it's like, I felt when God like hit me on the shoulder and said, not this one.
Damn, I know that shit never like a mother.
Dude, the next day, like, cause it was crazy because I just bought a ring.
Damn.
So it was like, and it was crazy because it was like a vision from God himself. Like, he just sat there and it was like, I could see the breakup coming. And I thought I was going to have a week. Dog, it was tomorrow. And I sat there and like when we split, I took off running. Like I that's all, because I was like, dude, I didn't know if I was going psychotic. I'm going to be honest, because when you start, like, it's not like I saw the breakup like word for word like type thing, but I could tell it was coming. I saw it coming, and I was like, I didn't know how to explain it. And it was like God was just comforting me beforehand enough, but he knew I needed the sorrow to learn, because it was like I had always been hurt by people who I knew were bad people. She was the first good person. And even though I have my own qualms with certain things where it's like, oh, I feel like this was personal, but it's like when I look at the general gist of it, I'm like, oh, she's just doing what's best for her. And it's like, I love her for it. I mean, not in the same sense as then, but it's like, dog, if I didn't have that lesson to learn, I would still for a year, I've pretty much been single.
Congratulations, by the way. That's a big, especially in today's world, choosing to stay single.
No, I had celibacy was harder.
That's what I'm saying. That
celibacy, I have reached not a full year yet, but I'm working on it.
So, piggybacking off of that, back to the childhood part, right? The addiction that formed my life to something I needed to be, even still to this day. I'm not dealing with it now, but it is a struggle. Definitely porn. Porn is...
Oh, Jesus could clean that up so quick, dog.
Man,
You don't understand. I'm a horrible person, right? But here's the funny thing. This is why I think it's so funny, because they always say we're opposites in the weirdest way. I was a sex addict, but I hated porn.
Man,
I hated it because it was like my first experience. So like with it was just strange. And it was in a classroom. Like someone just like showed me on their phone in like the 6th grade.
damn.
And it was like,
Oh man, I was way younger than that.
no, see, that was the thing, is I didn't have any older siblings. I was never around computers. Like I wasn't allowed to watch TV.
Man.
So like I was allowed to watch TV, but to a degree, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that was even if I was with the people that had TV, you know, there was a lot of people in my family that didn't. And it was like, so it was like, okay, I grew up on a lot of music. That's why a part of the reason I play guitar the way I do is because there was a lot of people played guitar around me. And it was like, the first time I saw that though, it was like the most grotesque video. And it was like, don't get me wrong, I feel like if you were to do it, you know, you start out light, but it's like, dog, they fucking hammered me into it. Like, it's not quite 2 girls, 1 cup level shit.
Man, I still remember the first time I saw that shit. That was
But it was like, dude,
don't watch that shit at home, kids. Don't do that.
But it was like, I saw that and I was like, this is the gayest thing I've ever seen. And like, I'm in 6th grade, and it's like, I was just flabbergasted. Like, I remember the emotion because I was so confused, and I was like, I remember asking one of my friends, like, dog, what is all? Because I had never given a shit. I was more worried about if I'm going to go home and eat.
See, man, so 2 things that changed my trajectory as a man. Watching porn for the first time in 2nd grade, I was shown by a family member on the computer.
That's dangerous. That young, I could see where it's like real dangerous.
And the first time I ever had my sexual encounter was in 4th grade.
Now, see, we have a very similar situation where sexually active, like, I forget how my doctor put it, but it was like, because things happened to me when I was a kid, right? My body was already like
adjusted to
ready to go.
Yep.
And it was like, I didn't like full blown lose anything till like 7th or 8th grade.
Yeah, I didn't lose anything until 8th grade too.
But it was like, I was starting to like, which I mean, I feel like
peeping.
I feel like a lot of kids around my age too, though, where it was like they were trying to do things, but I feel like a lot of it was just our generation too, of like how predatorial it was.
Exposed to a lot of shit young.
And it's like, because like, I mean, it's just weird because it's like, I remember like, dude, it was just like, just crazy things in kindergarten, dude, where it's like, did I see kids really like try to do so? Like, it wasn't even like they were trying to do anything crazy, but it was like, man, as they see on TV. And then it was like, dog, that was crazy back then. Like, and it's like, what is it like today? That's scary.
And see, well, the difference is, especially for my son's generation that's about to come up, we were still outside doing things. Nowadays, they got this at home.
Yeah, you got your Roblox stuff going on right now.
Exactly.
Those predators.
At like 5, 6 years old, we wouldn't even, I first knew how to work a computer in school, but now my son is going to be around. I have a PC at the house. He's going to know what this shit is. But I told my wife one of the main reasons why I was weary about having a son is because he's going to face battles that I just can't fight for him.
No, but like, I mean, that's so like, one thing personally as a father is like, that's where because like, okay, you understand this, like, because you said earlier is like, you know what it's like to not have a father. Like, you genuinely know what it's like to not have a father. And it's like, that's what Jesus is our ultimate father, right? Like he's there. He's our Abba. He's our teacher. He's our everything. Like, and it's like, if you get the Bible like genuinely instilled in your heart and you're able to be like, I handle this I handle this situation with these 4 verses. Like, and there's times like you see me do it with all the homies where it's like, no, you need this verse, and this verse. Go read it, cross-reference it with other stuff, and then get back with me. Because I know I'm not perfect. I'm a dirty, horrible person, and Jesus has been doing great things to clean me up. But it's like, I know if I stay away from my Bible for too long and I'm not instilling the word of God into my heart, well, my heart's deceitful. I can't trust my heart. I can't trust my own emotions. So it's like, okay, what do I teach my kid? And like the coolest thing was when I took my son out and we did a group prayer. And instead of like grabbing everyone's hands, like he came up to me and grabbed my hands, and we pray. Like when we pray before bed, we put our heads together.
I remember I heard him. He came to get you to pray.
Yeah. It's like he made us put our head like together in front of this group of people. And it's like one of those moments of you don't know how to respond because you're like, boy, I am so proud of you for loving Jesus. Like but then it's also like, oh, good fucking dad. And then it's like, I'm sorry. Thank you. I glorify you for teaching me and giving me the strength. But yeah, like,
shit, yeah.
it's like, holy shit. If I can keep this up, my kid is going to be okay in a correct world.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, because when it comes time for dad, why do these kids treat me differently? Well, you follow Jesus, and Jesus said, if you follow me, the world's going to persecute you and call you weird and this and that. It's like, think about it. When they go home, do they have this? Do they feel this way? Maybe you should forgive them. And it's like, I've already noticed it changing my son's life. And also my son lives in a situation where it's like, dog, there's situations I read in the Bible and I'm like, my son goes home to that every Sunday.
Man.
And it's like, I have to, and like, it's the craziest form of trust. And it's like, people are like, why don't you fight for this or that or the other? I'm like, because God told me not to. God told me I was just going to mess everything up. Don't do it. And to just trust him. And that's where I was like, you can ask Miguel. I had the hardest time with that, where it was like, God, like I went into his room and I said, I need to understand if I'm crazy. And he heard me out and I said, it feels like God's telling me this. I read this in my Bible. And it's just like, I got this little thought in the back of my head that just keeps echoing. Don't follow your own path. And it was like, and then it's like, whenever I followed his way, it was like, oh, my son is in the best position that he could be. I may not follow this moral law or this moral code, but it's like, I've seen more opportunities for me to preach the good news to people who were highly against it. And plant the seeds and like I'm seeing Jesus clean up. And it's like, it's just cool to watch him work sometimes. It's like, it's cool to watch the chef cook.
Yeah.
And if you trust him with your child, especially your firstborn, all I'm saying is, homie will cook.
Yeah, that's a rule when my son is born. If you want to hold him and pick him up, you got to pray over him. Because I was anointed very, very young. So I expect my son to have the same guidance and protection.
When did it hit you that you were becoming a father? Because I had that moment and it was like, it wasn't a coming to Jesus moment yet.
And I realized I was going to be a dad. It was actually pretty recently. I think it was after the baby shower. I was at work and the parking lot was empty. And I was flipping through the baby shower pictures. I was like, holy shit, we're in November. He might be born in December. This is really, really soon. No, I lied. No, I lied. It was when I considered being a cop. Because that was the first time in my life where I was like, bro, I need more structure than what I have now. I need to have.
Give me God.
That.
You're trying to fill a God-shaped hole in your heart. That's what you're doing. You still have these people hurt, and then the lens, like you're looking at the lens, and then there's these people hurt, and then there's Jesus, and then there's heaven and God and all of that. And it's like, you got to get past the people hurt and be like, I've had this whole U-shaped hole in my heart for you, where it's like, I've been a deceitful little asshole.
Yeah, man, I was riding around on a cart. Literally, I was riding around.
I know what you do, and it's just funny because, like, I could just, those old school stoner movies?
Cheech and Chong?
No, not even. Like, it would just, like a Dave Chappelle skit. Like, that's what I imagine. Like, you at work. It's just like when you got into it with those people and that, like, strap got pulled out.
Oh,
No,
man.
I want you to know. First off, instantly bowed my head and said, please don't let homie get shots.
Man.
But here's the thing, is I heard the irritation in your voice and I heard the ignorance that you were walking up to.
Dog. Oh, my God. Because it's a good day if it's boring.
Oh, yeah.
So just for the people, I work security. Like, that's what I'm doing at the moment. And I love it. Like, it's a great fucking job. Don't get me wrong. Best job I've had. Yes, quotations. But
Work and security.
hey, top flight security in the world, baby. So, but if I'm not doing anything all day, that's a great fucking day. That's what's expected. But when I was thinking about what I wanted to do with my future career-wise, it wasn't, oh, I need more money. It was, no, how do I have my son set up for a good portion of his life if I'm here or if I'm not here? Like, that's really what it came down to. And I was like, damn, I'm gonna be a dad. That was the time. Yeah. Where I would stop thinking about myself and was thinking about him fully. And I prayed on it. I was like, God, what do I even do at this point? Because
Jesus. He teaches you how to take yourself out of self. Most people go into like a crazy amount of psychedelics, and you could read like 4 pages of the Bible and be enlightened.
And see, I've only done psychedelics one time in my life.
Oh, I had a problem with them, dog. I'm one of those people that can take a stupid amount and just be like, I like to trip in the dark and imagine a world.
No, you're crazy. You're insane.
It's crazy because like a lot of people that I used to do psychedelics with, they're very anti-religion, and it doesn't make sense to me because I'm like, don't get me wrong, I don't think people should go like necessarily use psychedelics as their sole purpose to find God. But I feel like, because there's people out there who are like, I'm searching for the meaning of life and understanding, and it's like they go searching for it, they do a crazy amount and all of this, and some get good effects, some get good results, some get bad results. But it's like,
I did.
In my experience, personally, I had a good experience, and it made me want to get closer, and it made me start questioning who created all of this. And that was whenever, like, I had already done like some research in the Army, where it's like, because I got lucky enough to be like in an opportunity to go experience other religious services.
Wow.
And it was like, I mean, it was like all on a military base, like they service everyone. So it was like, and it's like, I can go with people I know. Like, it's easy. So it's like, I'm not going to feel uncomfortable because everyone's going to be from the same place I'm from. It's like, I can go up to someone and be like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is my first time. Like, I'm just experimenting. There's other people there doing that. And it's like, okay. And I like looked into some stuff and I was like, I don't think religion's for me. Like that, but that was before the psychedelics. And then I did psychedelics and I was like, I got to figure out the creator. Like, I have to meet him. And it was crazy because every emotion and every question I had was answered in the Bible.
Damn.
And it was always answered in like one of the God, because they're basic ass questions that I was asking, but it was like, oh, this guy Jesus might really be
the answer.
Like he might be God. And like, then it was like, okay, I need to research this guy. So I get on Facebook. Go looking to add Jesus as a friend and ask him questions. And it was like, dude, and I was asking people that I knew that were religious, and it was like, kind of like cautious about it because of my mom. And then it was like, dude, it was like, it's like I met him. Or I was baptized 2 days later.
Man. Damn.
Oh, dude, I gave like, it was funny because the first day I walked into church was the day I got baptized.
Damn.
I hadn't walked into a church in like years. I was like, every other time was either for a parent or like for the experimenting thing. And it was like the first time I walked in, like I walked in as a believer, and it was like, I just have a weird testimony myself where it's like, I got a little too high Okay. I'm going to be honest. Like that night, it didn't scare me. It made me curious because I was like, I'm too intricately designed to be Stardust.
Yeah.
I'm offended now. Like I was offended that people thought we just came from stars. I was like, there's no way.
And all the sperm, you were the one that made it. Like people don't think about it like that, especially now. Like people, especially in this generation, don't understand how wonderful it is to actually be alive. And that's part of the thing that irritates me. Like,
most people don't know what it is to live because they live under something. They live under some kind of debt. They live under social media, the judgment of others. They live under like financial debt, but they don't realize like, oh, through Christ, I am free.
and see,
That's the crazy thing is it's like,
man,
no one has the authority to judge me. Now, I can still do wrong and go to jail and the judge
Yeah.
can judge me for, and like, that's understandable, but it's like, homies want to think this or say this about me. Well, that's beautiful. You're going to have to deal with Jesus on those thoughts. I think you're a wonderfully created person. Yes, I want to smack the living shit out of you right now, but I'm going to go talk to God and repent instead of doing that. And if I do that, I'm still going to go talk to God and repent because he knows everything. So there's no reason to hide from him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I went jorking. Might as well go tell him, you know, goon in session, you know,
man,
a solo goon session, dude, will knock my week sideways.
as
You will see me turn into a crackhead because I'll be like, man, I'm avoiding God. He knows I gooned. Like,
man, it's like Adam and Eve trying to run away, put the clothes on.
but since we talked about so much of the best father, what kind of father do you want to be?
A present one.
I knew you were going to say that. Just a reason.
Bro, I'm already gonna be I know me and my wife talked about this. She was like, who do you think is gonna take more pictures and videos? I said, me, automatically. Like, just any moment. Like, I really want one thing I'm so excited for is to show my son that you spawned in the craziest time. Like, you missed out on so much. Like, the movies, the games, the Bible, the music. Like, I get to catch you up on all the data that you missed out on. And I'm curious to see what is going to be iconic for him in his childhood. Like, I know things that I grew up with that I still cherish this day, like Halo. You know, I love Halo. I'm a crack at it when it comes to Halo. But yeah, it's really sad. But for him, I want to see what that will be. Like, I'm really curious to see like what his interests are, what type of man he's gonna grow into, what woman he will choose to be with. This all type.
Oh, dude, I had that same emotion. It was like, and then it got to like, man, like one day he could have kids.
Yeah.
And the other, it's like, dog, it was crazy when I started having those thoughts because I was like, it's the first time I ever started thinking in the future.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a correct. So, like, what scares you the most about fatherhood?
Not being able to be his shield.
I mean, that goes back to the Jesus thing. If you want to go back on that spiel.
No, I do, just because I want to elaborate. Like, especially as men, there are things that you have to do and learn by yourself. Like, just point blank period.
But you could still have the proper tools to face them.
Yes.
Even unprepared people with proper preparation peak performance versus other people.
But those are just great choices that person made.
Yeah, you educate them with wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
You teach them that a lever can be used in a variety of ways. And it's like, pretty much, like, that's the crazy thing is Waylon's 3, but it's very rare that I ever really have to worry about. I worry about that kid more emotionally than I do intelligent. It's like coming to a task and having to deal with it.
But so we're on the same page. Like, what's an example I can give?
Like bullies, dog. They scare.
Yeah, like,
because I get angry and I want to go fight a child at that point. And you can't fight a child for being mean to your child because they need the callous.
And so this is where it kind of gets for me. He's going to be a biracial kid living in a weird time in America. that's a whole different type of conversation I'm about to have with him. Because I don't want him to feel like, well, my dad is this, my mom is this. One side is wrong and the other side is right. No, both sides have their own problems. But both sides are fantastic at what they are and do. I know when my son comes home, we're going to have, at some point, that's going to come up. And there are times where I think I'm ready for that. And there are times where I'm like, fuck, how do I respond? Like, that's the only way I am. That's the only solution I came up with.
Like, I mean, that's like, I mean, because of my son's situation, and I just don't talk too much about it on camera out of like privacy for them, but it's like, you know, I know one day he's going to ask one of us, and it's like, I pray that it's me because I want him to see that. I feel like my son can see through bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's like, I would rather be like, look, this is how it is.
Mhm.
This is the situation. Regardless of how we feel, this is what Jesus says.
Mm.
And it's like, he's the one to deal with the people who do things against Jesus, but he also knows ignorance. He knows some people, this, that, and like I can teach him real theology. Like I see it as a teaching moment.
Okay.
Which is weird because 2 years ago, it would have been, oh, I ain't going to talk to him about that.
Damn.
It's weird because I've become to the point where it's like, no, like I've become the head of household.
Yep.
Where it's like, no, we're going to talk about this first because it's easier to get it out of the way. But it's not something to worry about because it's like, Jesus even says, don't worry about those moments because it's the same thing as like, if like in Revelations, like if you're put on trial in front of people who are persecuting you and you're worried about saying something, he says, don't worry because the Holy Spirit will speak through you. As long as you accept the Holy Spirit and allow it to speak through you in those moments. I mean, that's how you teach your kid is be like, am I going to teach him what I did? Or am I going to like try to teach him what Jesus would do? Because what I did, because when I was doing it, I didn't have Jesus and I was doing it my way.
Mm-hmm. And clearly shit didn't fucking work. Same here. Like,
but it's like you look at Jesus' way and it worked out.
Every time. Now, no one says it's going to be easy. Let's start there. It's not supposed to be easy. To whom is given, much is required.
So you've talked a lot about your wife, and I want to ask how she's changed your life.
Man. Okay, well, I guess I stopped. Dog. Woo, she got me prepared to be a man through and through. Through and through. And what, not just any kind of man. She really just helped me propel the dormant qualities of leadership that I had. I remember the first time I told my dad and my stepmom I was moving out. My mom looked at me. She said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Well, she's the only one that has believed in me, respected me. She listens, and she's helped me get on track." At the time, months before, I had no job. I ended up getting a job. I started locking in and saving my money. We started putting our money together to get a crib. And by the end of that year, I was ready to go. Because it got to a point where I was like, bro, I'm in a good relationship. We're doing these things together. But here I am.
Oh, that was a cat.
Here I am buying hotels every night or every other weekend. I don't want to keep doing that. Like, I want to come home to my girl and say, hey, how was your day? Like, let's go to church. Let's go get dinner. Like, do those things so we can build a foundation, a future together. And I was ready. That's when I fully locked in. I had already let other girls go. But even our whole story is crazy. But yeah, that was kind of the moment.
That's a cool moment.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've learned something from loving someone so real?
Whew, man, where do I begin? Oh, the main lesson she's taught me, happiness is a choice. You have to choose that person every day. No matter if they piss you off, make you happy, make you sad, You can still choose to say I love you when you walk out the door.
It's dangerous if you don't.
I used to not think that way.
Yeah. Fucking real dangerous.
Yeah.
One, someone may not come back, or two, you might get a pan thrown at you is what I learned.
Damn.
My ex-wife was a little...
Yeah. Mine just hit me. You got hit with a pan.
I like...
Oh. All right. Well...
But so outside of content and things like that, what do you feel called to do? What's your fucking internal calling?
One thing my mom told me that I was anointed with was bringing people together. I'm going to touch different people in different ways. I never knew what that meant, though. For the longest, I thought that was just one avenue, which was dancing, and then I thought it was music. But my main calling, I just think I'm meant to just entertain. Entertainment as a whole, no matter what it is, I'm so good at different things. But my problem was not focusing on one thing. Or if I did, I wouldn't give my all. Streaming has been the one thing that I've stuck to, and I've seen the reward, slow or fast. Like, that's no matter what. But yeah, man, I would say entertainment is, but specifically streaming. Streaming has probably been the one thing that I've loved doing. I love cutting that camera on, saying, "Chat, welcome back." Like that whole thing.
So with you saying that, I kind of wanted to get on camera.
Okay.
Me asking you, because I wanted to start switching up the show. So for the people that don't know, we're starting a whole network thing, and like I want to bring you on as a full-time co-host, and then we kind of evolve the show from there. Like interviews would still be a thing, but like, you know, it just makes it easier long term, and it's like we can figure more out later. But it's like,
yeah, you know, I'm already on board.
Oh yeah, I know, yeah. I know. I just wanted to throw that on camera, like, so we're definitely going to be seeing this man around a lot more. It's fun doing the podcast with you.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
So I kind of talked about a lot of this. So the last few things that I have are just dumb, stupid, like get to know you questions, and it's what's your comfort food?
Cheeseburgers.
That's Waylon.
Cheeseburgers. I love burgers.
Waylon, anytime I ask him, what do you want to eat? Burger, fries. Looks like you asked me what kind of cheeseburger.
Can't go wrong. Like, it's my favorite food of all time. Five Guys, especially. I get that. It's either Five Guys or this place called W&W, like down in the country. I get that every year for my birthday. Hey, where you at? You already know where I'm at. Getting a burger.
So what's the funniest story from your childhood?
Woo! Funniest. Man. Probably me jumping off my dresser onto a couch that turned into a bed and slicing my leg open.
That's so horrible. I don't even want to know more.
Yeah, I'll show you after the interview.
Jamie, put it on the screen.
Yeah, like it was crazy. I thought it was Spider-Man.
That feels like my first child, my oldest child. But so tell the people anything you want. Your future kid, SG, your fans, your friends, your family, yourself in 5 years.
My favorite Disney movie is Meet the Robinsons for this one quote. And it's kept me alive.
Oh my God.
Keep moving forward, no matter what you do. Because the moment you decide to quit is when you fail, and that's when you lose the game. The game only gets better, and you only go farther if you keep moving forward. So, yeah.
Fucking good. I appreciate it. It was fun. I enjoyed it. You want to give us a shout out to yourself?
Yeah. Shout out to the Google Gang, man. Y'all have been with me for the last 3 to 4 years, from the highs, the lows, the rebrands. Back when I was dog, I went from Kid Ego to Zeta Great for a couple years doing music. Then I went to Is This Celestial? Then it was Ken's Burner. And then we finally decided to stay with Zay Michael, and that's what stuck. But y'all have never left me, and I appreciate every single one of y'all. I know I gave her a shout out at the beginning, but seriously, man, thank you to my wife. Like, you have been the best supporter ever. You really have. I'm excited for little Antoine. I'm excited for little Ant. He got some of the best parents, knowing the man that he could get. But he ain't got no choice because, we made him. But yeah, shout out to you, man. Love you, baby.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for watching. And like always, we'll see you next time. And yeah, ready to see him more.
See you. Peace.
Just chilling with my niggas, we just tryna get through life, and it's 2025 right now. Man, I'm 24, turning 25. I'm just tryna wipe a hoe, fish ain't biting right now. Bitch, I'm a masturbator, I'm with that fish and shit. Need a muhamula, cause a baby got no money, bitch. I'ma need a OZ, ASAP, no Sylvester shit. Smoking on.